What innocent search ended up being nsfw? When we got an Amazon tablet, my 5-year-old was upset that Alexa wouldn't let us teach it his voice for the voice recognition. I tried to explain it to him simply by saying it doesn't allow children to use the voice recognition because otherwise they could say, "Alexa, show me the naughtiest picture in the world," unwittingly summoning Alexa in the process. When I heard "here are my results for naughtiest picture in the world," the panic was real. I'm pretty sure the results would have been fairly vanilla, but I locked the tablet very quickly nonetheless. I once searched Pandora's box at work. I was trying to find a book and no porn, so much porn. I didn't get fired, so thank God. I'm legitimately surprised that you'd get porn first, before Greek mythology. I looked up animated dog in images and one had a dick. Removed. When I was a child, I wanted to practice my drawing skills by drawing some Inuyasha pictures. I hopped on the family PC and hit up the Google. I didn't know how to spell Inuyasha, and I have no idea what I did spell, but it was all internet porn. I had never seen porn before. That's when a young Enukshu's life changed forever. These days, Googling any anime character inevitably leads to porn anyway. Hairy Beaver Roman candles. Hairy Beaver is a firework brand. This would create an awkward headline if their fireworks ever cause an accident. Hairy Beaver blows of man's hand. Hairy Beaver leaves bad taste in consumers' mouths after 4th of July accident. Period knitting. What I wanted, historic patterns. What I got, that chick who shoves wool up her vagina and then pulls it out and knits it. A friend of mine had a prolapsed disc in his back some years back. I wanted to learn about it, so I googled prolapse, and ended up checking the image results. That was the day I learned that your rectum can actually prolapse. I got 7 words into this post and went, ooh no. I've got 3 words for you: walls fall out. Don't YouTube it if you don't have at least a gallon of bleach to rinse your eyes out with later. My 9-year-old searched herping because he likes looking for frogs. Instead he saw oozing herpes sores on genitalia. Scared him silly. Poor guy. Lol. In middle school, I remember in the school library, my friend leaned over and told me to Google image search for Z11 and then go to the 14th results page, and there were a picture of boobs that the school censor didn't block. I called bullshit, but sure enough, there were boobs on page 14. Edit, it was 18 years ago. Those glorious boobs are gone from page 14. Greater than boobs on page 14. Anything beyond page 2 of Google might as well be the deep web. That's modern Google, where all it does is serve you ads. Google in the mid-2000s actually was useful, even at page 10. Dix.com just wanted some boxing gloves. I did that, but at work. Why is this blocked? Oh. Lol, once I was googling Dick's sporting goods but bumped the enter key and ended up googling Dick's. Luckily I was on my computer at home. Wife and I were joking about eating chicken noodles, which then led to chicken nudes. I searched for turkey nudes next and forgot Turkey was a country. Upside down face. You made me search it up. NGL. Link plus. As a network engineer, when I Google the error code and the device, I now have to type out wireless access point instead of WAP. There's some LAN in this house. Need a router and a comp for this wireless access point. Forgot to type the R in Gary Oldman's name one time. Ha 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 ha, brilliant. I was doing research on sex chromosome disorders. Pro tip, when Googling 30 females, maybe include the word chromosomes in there somewhere. As a kid around age 10, me and my friends wanted to make our own TCG game like Pokemon. So we thought of cool sounding nouns we could use for art, so we Google beasts, but we fat fingered the R on the search. Cue mom walking in on 2 10-year-old kids who just Googled breasts right in front of her and the ensuing tears trying to explain to her what happened. Back when my friend around the block and I were 8, we would go to each other's houses and go on flashplayer.com for mini games and funny videos. We forgot the name of the website and put in flashplay.com. That's when my friend and I discovered porn and the beauty of it. Did something similar with https://www.albinoblacksheep.com, but I'd put letter I mistyped and doubt it exists. I was horrified cause we only had one computer. Back in '98 or so I was interested in the SETI program, to look for signs of alien intelligence. Figured that www.seti.com https://www.seti.com would be their homepage. Oh boy, nope. The girls involved had defiantly found aliens, and this stood for something very different in this case. Unfortunately, this predates the Internet Archive, so I can't share the hilarious CGI grey aliens conducting their probing. A co-worker was trying to find the B-Day company Tushy. Their URL is hellotushy.com https://hellotushy.com. He went to tushy.com https://tushy.com instead. That's a porn site. He did it on his client-owned and monitored laptop. He told us all of this immediately after he did it, asking for advice on whether he should proactively reach out to cybersecurity to explain that he was not in fact looking up porn on his client laptop. I did that earlier this year trying to order the same B-Day. Did it in front of my fiancé. Back in the 90s, my sister was trying to show my mom how the internet works. She said, you can, for example, go to sites for any kind of band you like. So, Backstreet Boys. And types in bsb.com or psfan.com or something similar. Up pops the Bear Shaggy Boys hairy porn site, and that's how my sister wasn't allowed to use the internet without supervision for 3 months. I was a big wrestling fan back in the day. We got the internet when I was in 6th grade, and so I was trying to find all of these different wrestling websites. I liked the NWO Wolfpack, so I typed in wolfpack.com and it was not wrestling. That was actually probably the first NSFW thing I ever saw on a computer now that I think about it. Came looking for NWO, ended up with nsfw. The very first time I ever used the internet, I accidentally found porn. This is mid-90s. I'm in the library at my school working on some group project, must have been 2nd grade or so, and all the librarians were losing their minds because they finally had a bunch of computers with internet access. I didn't know how it worked, but the kid next to me told me to go to Hotbot to look things up, before Google. Well, this kid had a cold, so he was congested, and instead of hearing the hard T sound at the end, I heard a D, which means I went to Hotbod. I don't remember if it was com, net, org or whatever, and the first thing I saw was some blonde lady showing me what a vagina looked like. Being too young to be interested, I immediately closed the browser and let someone else use the internet instead. Edit, spelling. Hotbot.org. Docking. I intended to Google the docking maneuvers of spaceships. What I got was, not that thing. This reminds me of when I went looking for sounding, meant as the way to measure the depth of the ocean. I was not ready for what I was about to find. Can you explain what sounding is in the NSFW sense so I can spare myself the onslaught of a search? XD. My friend went to a library to research sex discrimination before computers were widely available. She chose a computer for blind people which suddenly said very loudly, you typed in the keyword sex. There are over 70,000 results for your keyword sex. If you want to filter results for the keyword sex. And she quickly pressed escape, but it was too late. Everyone around looked at her as if she was a pervert. Okay, this one wins. When the internet was fairly new, my dad decided to print out coloring pages for my daughter. He searched for Barbie pictures and ended up with nudes of the Barbie twins. He was embarrassed but warned the whole family about his mistake. I wanted to go the American Girl doll website as a child. My dad typed in AmericanGirls.com instead of AmericanGirl.com, which was a huge mistake. He's pretty tech savvy, so he then blocked porn websites on our Wi-Fi well into when I was in college. Who knew a small s could make such a difference? Seems American Girl has now bought that domain. Tried it and it redirects to AmericanGirl.com. Isabel Animal Crossing. Wanted to see how bad it was, so I just googled exactly that. Now, I'd like to show you what I found. https://c.d.n.a.assets/images/014/766/286/large/Benjamin Ratterman Isabel edited small.jpg ?15453698878 SFW. That's definitely not SFW. Was having a discussion about the different rooms in the White House, so I googled whitehouse.com https://whitehouse.com, oops, it's White House. Gov https://whitehouse.gov. Guess most people are too young to remember this because I thought more people would upvote this. It was the first thing I thought of when I read the question, and then started wondering if it was still a porn site, but I'm at work and can't check. Once my little cousin borrowed my laptop for a project. Later, when I was casually scrolling through my history for a link, there was a Google search for boobs and then big boobs. Guess the little man wasn't satisfied by the former search. At least he wasn't the 12-year-old kid who googled sexy 16-year-olds on his dad's work computer. My stepson did that on our iPad. I told him googling 13-year-old sex is not something I should have in my search history. Wasn't my work computer, and thankfully even if it was, I'm the person who would deal with that. Way back in the day, when Mrs. Doubtfire was in theaters, I got super hyped on Jump Around. I found out that the group was House of Pain, and I wanted to look them up on that fancy new internet. So I went to www.houseofpain.com. It was hardcore BDSM porn, and I went running and crying to my parents to tell them so they wouldn't ground me for mistakenly going there. Sink the sub. Hide the weasel. Park the porpoise. A bit of the old Humpty Dumpty, Little Jack Horny, the horizontal Mambo, the Bone Dancer, Rumpeliforeskin, Baloney Bop, a bit of the old cunning linguistics. One of my favorite Mrs. Doubtfire quotes for sure. I had an employee who was an architect student, and I let her work on her schoolwork during the day when work was slow. One day she wanted to show me a cool new material she had seen at her class. She couldn't remember the name of it, and Google image searched hard dark ebony wood to show me. I laughed my ass off. Surprisingly SFW results for that, actually. Yeah, actually I think there was only like one actual dick. It was mostly wood, but it was very funny nonetheless. I was writing an essay about different types of oil, including vegetable oil, as a lubrication in machinery, and why some work and others don't, so I googled vegetable oil lubrication. I learned a lot, but nothing I could use for my essay. 1. Wait for it to rain. 2. Cover yourself in vegetable oil lubrication. I was taking a graphic arts class in middle school and searched for beach on Google Images. I ended up with pictures of naked men on the beach. Well, it was graphic,